Today on Rainbow Country, a visual artist who creates beautiful original art using his body as well as his penis. Self-described ArtSexual, Brent Ray Fraser is my guest.
Hi everyone, this is Mark Tewksbury, Olympic champion, reader, humanitarian. You're listening to Rainbow Country with Mark Tara.
Brent Ray Fraser, hi, how are you?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you for being here to have your voice, your story be heard by the LGBT community and beyond. So thank you so much for that. Let's start here with you, Brent, if I may call you Brent.
Yes, please.
So you are a visual artist. I believe your first painting was at the age of 3 or 4?
About 3. Yeah.
When it comes to the style of your paintings, how would you categorize the style of your paintings? Would you say they're abstract, they're modernist? How would you label them?
I guess I would say mixed media with a lot of performance, process-based art, stuff that I paint everything. I kind of consider myself a bit of a Renaissance man. I tend to not lose interest in something, but more gain interest in something else that I haven't tried before. And I like seeing where art takes me that way. I have been making a wide variety of different forms of art my entire life, and it just can't really put it into words to describe exactly what it is I do. I'm a creative individual, and
do you also do sculptures?
I love sculpture. I love working with clay, using my hands, anything like that. Anything that involves physical building or creation.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really stand or sit in one spot for too long.
Would you also say you're a collector?
Yeah, definitely. Borderline.
And what sort of things do you collect?
Well, I've got thousands of fake flowers. My studio's got a lot of fake flowers in it that are also fire retardant, which is great. I collect art. I collect my own art. I love making art and collecting it. And I really try my hardest to sell it to make room for more.
And you are in Langley, BC, and is your studio in a silo of some sort?
That's right. I live on a 100-acre farm out here in closer to Fort Langley. I have 2 spaces. The silo is the one that I create art in. I used to live inside there, but now I have a second space, which is more of a barn that I've renovated. And both spaces they were just 4 walls or a tin can, and I sell a painting and put up a wall, this kind of thing. I've been here for about 17 years now, and yeah, just doing the farm life here. Got a garden and everything, and living off the land kind of thing.
So let's talk about ArtSexual. Did you coin this term, this word, this phrase?
Yeah, it's yes, I did coin that. I kind of came up with that term years ago when I started investigating sexuality, my own sexuality, and as art, and portraying it as art. And what do you classify this as? I mean, ArtSexual is I guess I like to consider it a little bit of an art movement, you could say, because I have a lot of people that have been doing the things that I'm doing, and painting with their penis and trying a lot of different things, and opening minds, and legs. And
would you say you're an exhibitionist?
I've been told that many times.
But how do you see yourself?
I see myself as a person who's conquered his fears and is enjoying the aftermath of that. I grew up extremely shy, very introverted, and worked very, very hard to get to the level of comfort in front of people that I'm doing nowadays. And it's I've kind of lost track of the question here because I'm now thinking about all the things that I do that have just led me to this point. And,
Mhm.
you
And
know,
for you, when I say the word artsexual, how would you define that for yourself? Artsexual. When I say that to you, what comes to mind?
becoming one with art, it's like having sex with art. It's art sexual is it's art that is of the sexual nature, but it's me myself.
Is it sexual or is it sensual or even erotic?
I don't think it's too sensual. A lot of the things that I do using my body to paint, it is painful. So
Mhm.
it's kind of a masochistic kind of a feeling, but because I'm using my body to create the art, and
And
just
pain
kind of,
comes along with that.
yeah, it just kind of, I'm not I'm a single man. I haven't had sex in a very long time. We'll just be very honest here. And even during COVID times, that I really got a chance to really dive into my art sexual nature, and being an art sexual, I get off on making the art in the way that I do make it, and it's very satisfying for me. I've transformed my art, my creativity into not only a passion, but it's a fetish now. So and that energy that when you're making art like that, of the sexual nature, it's powerful. And you know I find that anybody that watches me do it or is around when doing it, they pick up on that energy, and it just charges them. And these are primal feelings that we have with sexuality. And when you add paint into that, and you get to see something being created from nothing, it's like pure creation. It's like sex,
Mhm.
it's creating something, but it's also like art porn, because you're having sex and people are watching, you know what I mean? And then you sell the videos, so now you're a pornographer, you know what I mean? It's great.
So 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 let's go there. When you say you're having sex with while creating your art, at some point do you climax?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
After every painting, I'll either christen it with with my I'm trying to think of a creative word, my juice, with my signature, let's say, christen it with my signature.
With your cum.
uh, yeah, I mean,
And how did you discover that you could paint with your penis? When did that idea click for you?
well, the first before I was actually like creating like drawings and making faces and things like that with my penis, I was more interested in using my body, and my body as the art, my body as the tool. So as I would get myself aroused, I wanted to not only like intermingle and play around with the paint as a lubricant, but to um, yeah, just masturbate with the paint, and get myself aroused, and then grab a canvas and press it, a simple pressing movement like this, and making a relief, and then pulling it away, and seeing that symbol. I don't even know if I have one here. It's I call it the monoprint. It looks like an exclamation mark, you could say. You got the shaft, and then the ball is down below. And it was a self-portrait. And for me as an artist, during the time when I came up with this idea, I was also in my fourth year of fine art studies at Art University here in Vancouver, and I was really surrounded by art. I was deep in art history. I was learning about Yves Klein. He's using bodies to create, using bodies as brushes. Jackson Pollock, abstract expressionism. He's not even using a brush. He's using a stick and dripping, and taking away the tool from the creative process and trying to figure out new ways to express themselves and create art. And for me, myself, using my body, something that I've been, growing up very shy and very introverted, and using my body and getting up there and presenting itself. Here I am, I'm naked, and then taking it to the next level and capturing my sexuality as an artist on a piece of paper. It was a mind-blowing thing for me, and I did that for about 5 or 6 years, making hundreds and hundreds of these things and doing them in strip shows and handing them out. And then I just had the idea that maybe I could draw with my penis, and I started to do large-scale murals and paintings that would take me 2 to 3 weeks to paint, and my dick would be completely raw afterwards, but I'd have this massive painting. I'd take a video, you put it on YouTube, and a couple years go by, and I got a phone call from Fremantle Entertainment. They called me from France and asked me if I could paint a portrait of somebody, a face, in 2 minutes, and if I could speak French. And I said yes to that right away, because it was an opportunity, and I don't speak French, and I've never painted a face in 2 minutes, but I tried it, and I figured out a way to do that. And since then, my focus has been mostly on a different variety of penis art forms, and really just more investigating myself as an artist and a person and what my body is capable of doing.
Earlier, you were mentioning about christening your art. When it's done, where do you normally christen your art? Like, do you christen it in the back, or is it in the front, or in a corner somewhere?
Well, you know what? You've just inspired me to now leave a nice little stain on the back and maybe sign that. But I when I'm making the painting, like say if it's a portrait, well, I have fun with that. Some people want me to sign it and shoot it right on their face, and so I've done that a lot. Mixing the come in with paint and doing the final strokes of the work. I do that as well. Or just painting, coming in a bucket before I start the painting, and then make the whole painting has got my DNA in it. So I've kind of tried a few different things, and you inspired me for a stain on the back, which is great.
So I understand that you recently performed in Australia?
Yes, that's correct.
And
Yeah.
have you performed in Australia before?
No, I'd never been there, and I was wondering what would take me all the way down under.
And so you performed in Australia. What do audiences get when they come to see one of your live performances?
Well, this past year was a little bit different because of COVID, and my show is generally highly interactive. There's a lot of touching involved, and people are, there's paint flying. And this year, I've catered it towards social distancing, and there was still interaction with the audience, and people. It gave them the opportunity to come up on stage in a setting that probably they've never done before, and create a work of art with me, and they got to take it home. A lot of people come to the show and they leave with art, whether they're purchasing it afterwards or they're taking home a gift that they've collaborated with me on.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so France has Got Talent, Croatia's Got Talent, Canada's Got Talent. You were on these shows. Why did you go on to these reality shows? Talk to me about this.
One thing I realized, and this is long before internet, was that if you want to be a famous artist, you got to get out there. You got to get yourself out there. Getting on TV is a great way, or TV or internet or any type of big show like that. It's a great way to get out to the masses. when I get a phone call to come on to these TV shows, they're big productions. They're fun. The energy that you get from the audience and just the whole process is pretty exciting for me as an artist, and someone who's conquered their fear of getting up in front of people. Those stages are pretty big, and
Did they reach out to you?
yeah, they all reach out to me.
Amazing.
I think a lot of the times I think the way that they do these shows is I'm a bit of a ringer.
Hmm.
They hire entertainment to come in, and I never make it past the round that I'm performing on, even though I get the three S's. I still never make it past, and I was thankful for that back in the day, because I was only painting portraits back then, but now I have a whole line, an arsenal of penis artistry that I've got under my belt, so to speak, and I've been showcasing that. And Australia was the first place to get to see a lot of these new art forms that I do, and they're speed painting, so they're done quite fast.
You mentioned earlier you were a stripper. Do you still do that?
I still get requests to come and do private parties.
Okay.
During COVID time, I probably got about five, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But before that, I was still dancing in the gay bars, doing the ladies' nights, doing private parties, birthdays,
Hmm.
stripograms, um, you name it. I've stripped on boats where people take you out into you pretend like you're a canoe tour guide, and you do a strip in a canoe. Uh, like all sorts of interesting and fun, yeah, unexpected gifts that pop into my email box.
So you've performed around the world in the US and Canada, Romania, England, Croatia, France, Australia. I'm sure I've left some out. At at what point did you realize that painting and being nude in front of people was a thing?
There's one show that came to mind that it changed the way I thought about what you just asked me. And it was in London, and I was performing at a place called The Box. And The Box in London is a very, like, there's no holes barred in this place. Anything goes. And there's also a box in New York City. So there's two boxes. They're pretty much almost identical, and the performers go back and forth. And I performed for several years in this New York one until they invited me to the London one. Now, when I got to the London one, um, you know, let me back up. In New York, people, when I paint with my penis and I finish it, they first see me painting with my penis, they're laughing, haha, what's he doing? But then when I hold it up and it looks like something, people are sold. They're, wow, holy cow, it made an impact. Went to London, and during, before my show, I think I had a couple drinks, and and the painting, it didn't really, when I finished it, didn't really look like anything. But the people were blown away by the fact that I just put paint on my penis and used my penis as a brush. Just that simple thing. They could watch that all day long. After that show, I had 7 days, 7 nights of shows there, and the first night was the one where it kind of like messed up the face. Every night after that, I just painted a smiley face. I did a smiley face with two dots, and they just absolutely loved it. And from that point on, people they're just so dumbfounded when they hear about the way that I paint. For me, for everybody around me, my family, it's become a normalcy, I guess. Um, but yeah, people are. I always get a new in outlook on penis painting in different countries, different cities,
Hmm.
different cultures.
Are Europeans more accepting of, say,
Definitely.
of you being on stage naked, painting with your penis, that sort of thing?
Well, like some of the European countries were holding off on having me come there, and they talked to me about it for years, and they felt like they weren't ready to have a man come on stage on TV and be full frontal.
Right.
It's illegal in some places, and but
Do you
these
think that would be okay if it was a woman?
like using her breasts or
Yeah,
her
but and totally naked, that sort of thing.
um I don't know. I think so. Yeah. Actually, I do think so. Um, yeah. I mean,
Because it's almost more accepted, right?
yeah. And you know what? Art and, the male penis in art history has been, you know, it's always been something that's been taboo.
Mm-hmm.
Statues getting their penises chopped off, or, things like this because of religion. And yeah, I don't know. It just blows my mind. I mean, I've become such an open-minded person that I try and put myself in the mind of people, especially with censorship and things like this and what you can and can't post. Well, I'm so, what do you call it? Desensitized to it all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I do know.
Yeah,
I do know, but
it's funny because when people look at you, they may not think of a mama's boy, but they might think of somebody who's, maybe who's physically fit. He might be a bit of a meathead, maybe doesn't have much going on upstairs. But you actually have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. Why was it important for you to have an arts education?
you know what? It's mostly I guess my dad. I guess my parents. My dad comes from a family where everybody's got a degree, and it was it was the thing. You finish school, you get your degree, or you go learn a new career. Well, I mean, during high school, I took my art for granted growing up. I knew I had a talent and I could do it very well, and I even to this day, I kind of kick myself for not focusing a bit more on it. But I was young and, like I said, I took it for granted. But my art school teacher in high school, he saw something in me, and he took it upon himself to become my mentor. And he helped me build a portfolio to get accepted to one of the toughest art schools in Canada, Emily Carr. It was really tough to get into that one. Um, but he helped me get into that. And at the time, I was also quite a delinquent. I was very not a good kid. You could say I was a delinquent. I was bad news, and I didn't have a good focus in life, let's just say. And at that time, I had three options of what I wanted to do with my life. I I wanted to either be a mechanic because I liked cars at the time, and I thought that if I could fix a car, that could be a good job. Then I thought I could possibly go into the army, and because I needed discipline, and I think I could lead a structured life, or go to art school and express myself as a creative person. My mother's entire family is a lot of artists from our bloodline, and yeah, go to art school, get your degree, and that make my dad proud, make my parents proud, and end up going to art school for 10 years. 10 years, it's a long time. I was straying away from my curriculum to have fun with inter-school things like black and white photography or computer animation, like things like this. But yeah, I got my degree, and it hangs at my parents' place. It doesn't do much for me except we get to talk about it here. Yeah, piece of
Never,
paper on the wall.
never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah,
So, can we talk about what's in your jeans?
yeah, sure.
No, 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 no.
No underwear in there, that's for sure.
Not necessarily physical genes, but okay, go here with
Oh,
me.
my jeans, of course.
Go here with me, Brent. Recently, I did an interview. I had Jim Valance, world-renowned songwriter, producer, pretty much co-written Bryan Adams hits with Bryan Adams.
Okay. Yeah.
and Tina
Yeah.
Turner, all this sort of stuff.
Sure. I'm familiar.
His lineage goes back to Harry Lauder, a Scottish singer and comedian who by 1911 had become the highest paid performer in the world, and by 1927 was the first British artist to sell 1 million records. Brent, your lineage goes back to Thomas Gainsbourg, the 18th century artist who painted the Blue Boy. So here's the question. Do you think that you were destined to be a visual artist?
I feel like I was born an artist. I think that artists are, you either know you're an artist or you don't. You're born one. Yep, I was born an artist.
And
Final
how did you final answer? And how did you guys discover that you were related to Thomas Gainsbourg?
My mom, my mother's lineage. My great grandmother was a painter, and it's just a fact in our family.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I am on the right path, and that the world, it presents itself, and the universe presents itself in unusual ways. And when I found out that, it just kind of made me clicked. But it also made me feel like a little guilty, and I have a little bit of guilt. I have to admit that because I love painting with a paintbrush very much, but I don't paint as much with a paintbrush anymore, and it makes me feel a little bit guilty to my ancestors, but at the same time, it's just a stick with some hair on the end of it, and
kind of like your penis.
Just like a penis.
Right. A meat stick. Okay, so earlier you were mentioning about questioning your sexuality when it came to painting, that sort of thing. How would you describe your sexuality?
Well, I mean, we mentioned that ArtSexual there. People ask me, what is my sexuality? Are you gay? Are you straight? Are you bi? Are you this? Are you that? That's what's the one question I get answered more than how did I start painting with my penis? And, I'm attracted to all walks of life. I'm attracted to good old fashioned energy, and if you have a good energetic bond with somebody, then things could happen,
And you mentioned that you had stopped having sex.
Yes.
So why did that happen for you, do you think?
I don't know. I guess I just lost interest in it, I lost interest in it because
you lost interest in sex, or you lost interest in the people that you were having sex with?
Sex with people. It's kind of hard to put into words, but I dig inanimate objects. Just kidding.
And you're content with the way it is.
I'm content with the way it is right now. I started mass producing my penis as a statue, and then the natural evolution for that is to transform the statue into silicone. And then I had to test the silicone out to make sure that it worked. I have sex with myself more than I've ever had sex with anybody else, literally having sex with myself, the penis in my ass, and it feels good. I like my penis very much, and to, I don't know. I guess I don't even know what to say to this question anymore. You've got me speechless here. It's
to each his own. To each his own.
I don't even know what the question was anymore.
You know what? I don't either. So
Yeah.
when it comes to your artwork and your paintings, first of all, do you call them paintings?
Yeah. Paintings. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, yeah. If there's paint in them,
Hmm.
if there's just paint in them, then there's paintings.
If there's more than just
If
paint?
there's paint and dry material, and then they're mixed media.
Okay. Are you the only person in the world doing this? Are there other people that paint with their penises or?
There are I've come across. There's nobody that does what I do. There is another artist in Australia by the name of uh, Tim Patch, and he's also goes by the alias Picasso. And me and Picasso have become friends over the years. And I've been meaning to go there and paint with him in his studio. He's been inviting me for many years to come down and paint with him. And he's a bit of an older gentleman, and he works a lot in color. I don't know how he does that. He must have a real calloused penis, because my penis is very sensitive, and he's more of a black and white kind of a painter. Um, Mostly because the pigments sting the hell out of my penis and balls.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you get into like colorful works, it's a bit of a game changer.
Hmm.
I don't know what types of paints he used or anything, but God bless Tim. God bless him. We
And
started painting with our penis around the same time.
mhm,
I found out about him about 6 or 7 years ago,
mhm.
and I started painting with my penis about 14 years ago.
And has the Guinness Book of World Records ever contacted you?
Yeah, right. I should contact them. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's painting. Yeah,
One never knows.
a good idea actually.
And what do you want audiences to come away with after they've viewed your paintings, your mixed media art?
A new form of inspiration, something that maybe they've never seen before, or to see something that them somewhere else, takes them takes them somewhere else out of takes them away of their life, takes them into another experience, kind of like a meditative state, I guess, or like being on shrooms or something.
Brent Ray Fraser, thank you so much for your time. This has been amazing. Thank you for being on the show. Well
Hey,
done.
yay! Yes, it's been a busy week for me. I'm glad that this was nice. This was really nice. I had one other interview earlier, a couple days before, and that was the first one in some time. So this felt this was nice and comfortable, and you seem
Mhm.
like you're a very good, very comfortable person to talk to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Share all my secrets with.
I doubt if you have many secrets.
Oh, I got a few kicking around. That's what's underneath the pants,
Ah,
not the
okay.
underwear. Secrets. Just kidding.
Thanks again for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. God bless, and I wish you all the best.